Hi there everybody, Fotaku here, and what I want to go over today is the theoretical release for Volume 5 of RWBY. It was a lot of fun. What we had here was, we were going to have like a breakdown of how RWBY had come up to this point, though what we really got was more so the last 3 episodes of Volume 4, and with commentary after each episode. So we had a breakdown of how everything came about and reflecting both on the motives of our characters, the situation that they're in. And though I found that to be quite fascinating, I wish we would have gotten a little bit more of the behind the scenes in terms of how the episodes came together, maybe a bit more for animation and whatnot, but it was still cool. I found it very intriguing to see how they came about for the Grim that plagues Team Ranger at the very end of the season, as well as going a bit more in depth into some of the characters in ways that might have not have been as apparent right from the get-go. Now, the rest of the build-up for Volume 5 is actually pretty cool. They went over the previous trailers that they released, both for Weiss and Blake, before the actual start off of it. And man, is it cool to see that it is more lighthearted than what had happened during the prior Volume 4. Especially because things were so bleak after the ending of Volume 3, it was refreshing to see how there was a bit more humor to the first episode of Volume 5. Now, don't get me wrong, we still had to see what was up with Waltz and Leo at the end of Volume 4. So it is quite apparent that we still have that issue there, which is pretty cool because for Lionheart, and because, once again, we have pretty much a story following the Wizard of Oz with characters from the get-go, I find it really cool that he is cowardly and how they might build into his character later. So definitely looking forward to see what they do here. I mean, there have been some people who are saying like we might get this whole kind of like Lando, Star Wars Strikes Back feel from it, and I mean, they wouldn't be far off. I can see how sometimes things get a little bit bleaker before they're gonna get to a very satisfying resolution. So I can't wait to see what they do more with that character. And it was nice to hear more about the maidens and how they fit into the grand scheme of everything. Heck, there was even a moment where I felt the Spring Maiden just pulled a complete Aang from Last Airbender. It was like just ditching out because the responsibility was pretty harsh. I mean, understandable. But to hear now that she's hanging out with Raven's crew, I do want to see how that's affected her and how that will come about into play with future episodes and what kind of battles we have and, you know, up ahead. And so now to just get back to the humor, because that's where most of the serious stuff is. Here we essentially see Yang back at it, and I mean, she has this amazing physics-defying punch and trying to just get her back into the scene, which it's nice. It's a cool way of introducing her back with a bit more confidence than she had during the prior season. We don't get so much of Blake, unfortunately. We do have a funny scene between Sun and Gira and how they're annoyed about how the menagerie's dealing with the White Fang. But it was still nice to see a bit more of Ilya, especially because she had such a great it was kind of like a great character in depth moment for what they had in one of the trailers for Volume 4. And so I do want to see if maybe we might have a similar redemption story here, or just what else the White Fang has in store. Now, Team Ranger has a blast with Crow. Hands down, steals the show at the very end when he gets drunk with a line that's going to become so meme-worthy. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens there. Now, overall, what I found to be most memorable just from the experience here, I mean, we have the episode coming out on Saturday. The cosplay. I mean, there wasn't as much cosplay there. I think I was the only cosplayer, and I wish there would have been more, but what made it memorable was, like I said, at the end of the episode, essentially by the time I was walking out of the theater and everybody was starting to quote, "I found him!" And there was this nice little like shoot with people. I found that to be really cool, and I really do wish that there would have been more cosplayers to the premiere that I went to. And then the second thing that was really cool and memorable is a bit more isolated, only in the fact that I had a friend who had not caught up with RWBY up until that point. So he was trying to watch RWBY right beforehand. Lo and behold, though, he didn't have to worry about that because it played the 3 episodes he had not seen yet. And there we had them with a breakdown after the fact. more of a really funny inside joke, but I found that to be like quite convenient. I mean, do you believe in destiny? Anyway, everybody, thank you again for watching this. If you enjoy this content, remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'm not sure if I'll go into a breakdown for each episode, but I will want to talk about Volume 5 in depth when that series finishes. So thanks again for watching, and have a good one.